I love your den, and I think there's so many unexpected pieces, which, I mean, let's talk about the feathers. Who would think about putting feathers into a vase?
The feathers are awesome. I love the feathers, and I love just layers and textures. And I do have a dear friend who is my designer, and he brought these over, and I fell in love with them. I mean, and they're timeless. They're timeless.
And what is his name? I think I've met him. Felipe. I think I met him.
He is amazing.
All right, so tell us about the room.
Oh gosh, a lot of love. And it's funny because, you know, the TV used to be where this piece of art is. We have flopped it so many times, but this sofa, I think, is probably 60 years old. This was in my house when I was little. We have recovered it so many times.
I love the wide whale corduroy.
Yes, it's just, it's fabulous. I love it. I love the color, you know, greens, blues, yellows. Bring it all on.
Bring it all on. So may I ask you a question as we go through this, because you are so good with art. How does someone choose a piece of art?
As a collector?
Yes.
So as a collector,
as somebody like me.
I think art is, it's personal and
Okay.
it speaks to someone. And what I really encourage people, don't buy a piece of art to match your furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Buy it because it speaks to you. It brings you joy every day. And we're going to talk about some of those pieces. All of my art brings me joy, but you know, buy something that brings you joy. Not that it has to match your house.
I love it.
And your furniture. This was one of my very first pieces that I bought by Robert Langford. And funny story, Robert and I was obsessed with this. Actually, the painting in the gallery was hung upside down.
Oh.
Upside down. And when I turned it this way, I saw an angel. Do you see the angel with the little halo and the wings?
Yes.
And so that I've loved for so long. Mm-hmm. Robert and I, every year, a couple of times a year, we would find a building and we would do a pop-up shop, a little pop-up art shop. And we had the community of Charlotte that would donate all the food. In fact, the caterer for our party tonight would donate the food, the wine glass, everything. And we were able to give 50% back of our sales back to homelessness or hospice or whatever the ministry was. But I love this piece of art. And then my mantle.
All right, yes. Tell us about the mantle.
The mantle. So in our other house that we did not build, I found this mantle. And this was the one thing that I had to bring. I love just the deep, you know, mahogany stain and the carvings. So this came, and it had to be in our new house. Everybody thought I was crazy, but it works. It matches, and it just feels good in this wide open space. I do love having, you know, these incredible bookcases because they house some really special pieces. This piece is called The Kiss, and it's by Paul Day. And I met Paul, my husband and I were on a barge trip. This was probably 15 years ago. And we were at a restaurant, and we saw some sculpture pieces. And our guide said, would you like to go meet the artist? And I stepped into Paul Day's studio, his home. He lived on a farm in France. And literally wept. I mean, it is so incredible. And he is world-renowned artist, sculptor. The Battle of Britain in London, the St. Pancras Station, there's the 40-foot meeting place. But this is one of my favorite pieces, The Kiss. I gave it to my husband for one of our anniversaries. And then I've got another piece of Paul's that he gifted me up here. It's a terracotta piece. And just love that. This actually is one of my first paintings that I ever did when I was studying figures and still lives and before the angels ever came to be, and just family. This is another artist of mine, Millie Gosh. She's in Georgia. Love her work. This is a piece I just got back from Venice a couple of years ago and started to try to do some more landscapes. It's hard when you're focused on one genre, and angels were my thing, but my little landscapes. And then another, this is such a fun piece. It's got a top that could be fabric. It's up in my attic, The fabric was on there for a long time. It was a little just tufted little puff that went on there. And then it was removable. But I have my incredible builder, handyman, Stan the Man is what we call him. He works at the gallery too. But he built this piece, and just the designs and the lines, I love this. You can tell it's a little tattered and torn, but that's what makes it so loved. And, you can tell that we have lived well and loved well in this home. I love coffee table books. I've written quite a few, as has Ruth. But you'll notice that I have stacks and stacks of coffee table books, either under lamps or under plants. And I love coffee table books. And we're actually going to...
And here's one.
Yeah, that was the
That's
first
yours.
one. That is
so
the
what
first
you'll
one.
find out later is she paints angels, and I mean, they're unbelievable. So
Yes.
anyway, it's so exciting to see your work out.
Mine is supposed to be read cover to cover. Actually, I, typically when you get a coffee table book, you just want to, put it on your coffee table, adorn it with a little ornament or something. But mine is meant to be read. And Kathy Lee Gifford held it up on the Today Show. This was 13 years ago.
Okay.
And I had a lady call me, and she said, I got to tell you, my 4-year-old granddaughter passed away 2 years ago. And I ordered your book. I read it cover to cover, and the floodgates of heaven have opened up. And I knew then that this was not just a hobby, but it's now a ministry. And so got to read a lot of my coffee table books, but anyway, they're beautiful. So if you notice throughout my home, I do love mixing a lot of dark woods with some modern pieces. But I found this, again, at an antique place and fell in love with this. It fit perfect for this space. And so this is another favorite, just kind of beat up.
I know, but that's why I like it.
I know.
It's actually, you look at it and you feel story.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Like
there's a story behind
I love
it.
this. And this piece, I just will never, ever let go.